Greetings, and welcome to my special Purple Portal. This is your hostess, Elaine Bartlett, your somewhat reluctant mystic. And indeed, I am a wonderer and a wanderer. And I hope to bring some of my wondering thoughts and insights to you, to expand your thinking, to enlarge your consciousness. Because I know if we can do that together, you will fly high. You will be loving life. And you will have the life that you actually are destined to have, which is, by all accounts, happy, delightful, and delicious. So today in the United States of America, we've got some interesting things cooking because it is what is known as Election Day. So not only am I going to be speaking about Election Day today, I took the time today from an astrological point of view, both Western astrology and Chinese astrology, to look at the two players from a very objective, candid, and kind point of view. Of course, the word kind and kindness has not exactly been the earmarks of this whole shenanigan parade, but nonetheless, I'm going to give you great dollops of it today. But first, we've got some things to talk about. We're still, of course, under the sign of Scorpio, and that does mean death and dying, transition, transformation, rebirth, kind of the whole down into the ashes, into the phoenix routine. So I'm asking you to please look at your life and see where you should be letting go. That's the dying cycle, so that you can embrace the new. And I'll probably be asking it one more time even next week as we begin to approach the end of the Scorpio cycle. In the meantime, I do have a gal, Linda Kay, who is experiencing, maybe she is suffering. She's experiencing a wonderful birthday today out in Arizona. So hats off to you, my Linda, and hope it's a magical day. And another deep, deep thought of respect and admiration for my friend Laurel, who's been going into the ashes and coming up like the phoenix for several months throughout this year of the monkey, as her whole health has been revamped. That whole body has been totally revamped and just out of the hospital one more time. So hats off to you and happy, healthy, healing journey. You know, because we're under the sign of Scorpio and this whole flavor of death and dying, I thought I would share with you a couple of unusual things that have to do with death and dying, and actually invite you to call in with your story about this once I tell you my story. So I'll show you mine if you show me yours. And if you would, call in and share and enjoy 321-806-3159. 321-806-3159. And there's no gremlin that will greet you. It's the wonderful manager and owner of this delightful talk network radio, Jeff, and he'll pipe you right on through to me. If you're hesitant to be live on air with me, feel free to ask any questions or concerns right directly to my email, which is purpleportal777@gmail.com. So again, that's purpleportal777 gmail.com. And please go to my website and check out who I am and what I'm all about. And the website is higherconsciousness.com. Higher Consciousness, and the higher is like the hierarchy, HIERCONSCIOUSNESS. So to continue here with a little bit of the death and dying theme for the month, I thought I would share with you a couple of unusual, I guess, situations that occur to people. And one of them is a very unusual occurrence called phone calls from the dead. And I don't know if any of you have ever received a phone call from the dead. There's actually a book written on it. The title is Phone Calls from the Dead. I don't have the author's name, but I know I do have a copy of it somewhere in my library. So phone calls of the dead actually goes along this line. Your phone rings, you pick it up, and you actually hear the voice of someone who is supposedly dead. We don't die. That's a myth. Your body dies, but and the awareness of your ego and your mind dies. But the essence of you, the pure presence, it can't die because it had no beginning and it has no end. And that pure essence is what can connect with you. And several years ago, probably now about the year 2010 or 11, my sister crossed over in 2010, and she, as I, were metaphysicians. And she had promised before she left she'd keep in touch. And I assured her that I would expect it and embrace it. So one day, about maybe 5 or 6 months after she left, I was in a sound sleep. It was about 6 o'clock in the morning, and the phone rang. And some which way, I reached over. It was a portable phone. I reached over, put it to my ear, and I could hear her speaking to me. I was so excited. I couldn't even carry on. I was like, "Oh my God, are you okay? How is everything? What's happening?" And the phone seemingly went dead. Then I was wide awake, screaming into the phone, "Wait, wait, wait, wait." And there was, at that point, no one there. But she had actually used the instrument of a telephone to connect. And one of the reasons I bring that up is because I have yet another sister, and she's going through a little bit of a bumpy time right now. And she was very close to my mother, who's also crossed over. And last night, about 9:30, I'm bopping around, minding my own business, I don't know, doing innocent little chores. Without a shadow of a doubt, I heard my mother speak to me, saying, "Call your sister. Call her right now. Tell her everything's going to be fine. She shouldn't worry." And I kind of brushed it aside, thinking, come on, I'm nuts. I'm going around the bend here. About 5 minutes later, "Please call your sister. Tell her not to worry." Well, by the second time I got the message, I dialed up immediately into New Jersey, and here this lovely being gets on the phone, and I'm like, "Julie, are you okay? Was today particularly worrisome because your mother had a message for you?" And she could hardly speak, and she's like, "Oh, well, didn't she tell me anything else? Isn't there some timing on when this will lift?" Well, they don't really have timing in that dimension, and there is no such thing. But you have to be assured that everything is going to work out, and try your best to put your worry down. And we both had a chuckle because this sister has always been known as the worry wart in the family. So we talked a few more minutes, and I could tell she was teary but very thankful. And the final one, now remember, if you have a good story, you have to call in 321-806-3159. Because I won't think you're nuts. I'll be like, "Yes, that is so fabulous. Don't doubt it. Don't deny it. Don't hide it. Enjoy it." So the last one is from a friend of mine up in the Jersey area, Janice. And Janice also has been doing a yeoman amount of work to learn and make inner corrections and try to do her very best at healing her life and thus the lives of anyone she touches. And the other night, now she didn't know I had all these other stories cooking under the sign of Scorpio, but she called to share this because it was so astounding to her. She has been on a cleaning rampage. Now, many of my troupe has been on a cleaning rampage since Lakshmi's visit a couple of weeks ago, but it's the time for us to let go of all of our junk, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, let it all go. So she was in that mode, and she had been up in her attic sorting through volumes of paperwork that had to be shredded. And as she's up there, and I don't know if you've ever been up into the attics in New Jersey, many of them in these old homes, they're low ceilings, they're kind of dim, kind of creepy, kind of dusty. Well, that's where she was. And all of a sudden, she began to think of a girl that she had met about 25 years ago on a Club Med cruise. And because these two gals were single gals, they were partnered to share the room. Well, I don't know if you've ever been partnered out of the clear blue with someone. It could be either the kiss of death and you just want to throw yourself overboard, or you luck out and it's spectacular. Well, she lucked out, and these two women developed a very strong friendship, which continued for about 8 years or so. And then that gal, the other gal, went on to Los Angeles to study acting and become an actress. And then they kind of lost touch, and finally even the Christmas cards come to a stop. But all of a sudden, my friend Janice is up in the attic, and this girl is clearly in her thoughts. And she kind of brushed it aside. And you do doubt yourself. You think, oh, this is silly. I don't know why I'm thinking of her. Well, from the attic, when the attic was finished, she had to take herself down to the basement. And once again, the basements in Jersey are not much more great than the attics. They can be damp and dingy. So she's down there trying to hurry through whatever she needed to sort out. And she opens a box with bank statements. Resting on right under the lid, on top of the bank statements, is a letter from this girl, just sitting there all by itself. Well, the letter didn't say much, but other than, because it was written 20 years ago. But again, now the woman is enough in the mind's eye of Janice that she now goes to her computer and Googles the gal. As she was Googling, she's really feeling a deeper connection. And right as she was Googling, she understood the girl to say, I am no longer in body. With that, as she Googled, in 2004, this gal had died of Lou Gehrig's disease. So don't doubt what you're hearing. This stuff is magical. And it's such living proof that you don't die. And their friendship hadn't died. They were still connected spiritually, as you all are, as we all are. So I just thought that was pretty neat, and I just wanted to share that with you. So again, 321-806-3159. All right. One thing I would want to tell you about is from a galactic point of view. Now, the galactic energy is kind of above and beyond all my studies of metaphysics and Western astrology and Eastern astrology and Chinese astrology and numerology. It's an elite, and it's intricate and delightful, and of course it'll take me the next umpteen years to thoroughly master it. But in the meantime, I'll share what I'm getting as I go along.